Welcome back, guys, to the James and Dame Show. This episode, we thought we could just be a little nitpicky about what we do and do not like, considering different aspects of the NFL, specifically uniforms, because I have seen some really good ones, and I've seen some burn it. I've seen some burn them uniforms, like you get the torch out, light them, throw gasoline on it, you know. There are some nasty uniforms out there, but we're going to rank the NFL uniforms, especially since a few teams have updated theirs. Most of them are cool, but we're just going to decide which one's the best and which ones are not so great. So, yeah.
Yes, because we have final say in everything. We are God.
No, we are not God. Let's see here.
Start with the Cardinals.
Oh, we could do that.
All right. Me personally, C at the highest. They didn't. The issues I had with their uniform before they tried to fix them, I don't think were fixed, and they look kind of generic.
They are pretty generic. I will say that. They're like the most normal uniform you could probably find.
I heard a lot of comparisons to, like, they look like college uniforms, and
Yes.
specifically, people compared them to Ohio State, which I was like, Not
I can
counting
see where
the
they
helmet.
could get them, but
Now I will say the All Blacks are okay.
the All Blacks are fine. It's the other two that don't.
They're
do it for
just
me.
boring. They're not exciting at all. Like, and I don't mean like exciting like you have to be,
Wow.
like the guys are looking a little bit further ahead, but like the Packers and the Chiefs have very classic uniforms, and those are fine. They're not like flashy, but you don't need to be flashy. You just need to look.
You need to have a certain style and stick with it, and it has to
Yes.
do with branding and everything too.
So, I mean, for the alternate, I don't mind it, but I think that brings it up a little bit. The other ones, they're not the worst, but they're just kind of boring. So I have them C to D.
I'd say C. They're decent, but they're not great.
That's
So
fair.
I think that's a fair ranking.
From the C.
Let's see here.
The
Who do we have next?
Falcons. This is another case. I love the throwback with the classic ones, the red with
throwbacks
the
are
dirty
pretty
bird.
good.
Love that. The other ones,
No.
the font doesn't make any sense. The numbers are super big. I don't know if they like discontinued the use of the gradient, but the gradient, I love the idea of a gradient uniform. I don't think they did it right.
No, they didn't do it right.
That one, I think the alternate also pulls them up, but I have that. To me, that's like D, and if it wasn't for the alternate, F, because I do not like those uniforms.
I think I'd say between C and D, but I think we should just agree on D because
They're
they have
middle ground.
some style, but they're not great. So
It's
could
just
care less.
the helmet's not impressive. The logo is weird. The mat just doesn't seem to work with what they're doing, and it's just I'm not a fan.
Yeah.
The Ravens.
Where are they? There.
Now,
Okay.
I will admit, the new helmet that they have, it's not on here, but the helmet that they rolled out, I'm skeptical of. I don't know if you saw it, but it
Not
was
yet.
it's I think a matte purple with a gold face mask and the straight on bird, and it's supposed to go with like I think they're all purples for like a color rush look. Honestly, I'm skeptical because
Those. Okay.
it's like it could be worse. I don't think it's that bad. It's one of those things I think I need to see on the field.
Fair. I like the design of the bird, the raven.
I like that logo. It's just I've not been as much a fan of the use of the all purples uniforms, or just like the purple and gold taking out the black as much as they have. Because my opinion, my favorite logo is they're all blacks.
Interesting.
I think it is a clean look. It's also the vintage. Like when I see that, I think of Ed Reed,
Yes.
and that's why I'm like I love that uniform.
Yeah.
And I think they're like the ones they have here It's just they're purple and white, and then white and purple and then the all black.
Agreed.
It has all three, and I think that is a super clean. Like, it's not like fantastic, like it is the best uniform of all time, but I think it is a really good look, and I think that's kind of like, what the Cardinals and Falcons should look at. As if you're not gonna go flashy, that's where you should go. I have that. I'm biased, but I have that at least like an A or so.
B or A sounds good to me. I just don't think they're that great, but that new logo or the new helmet design is pretty cool. So I'll agree with an A on this part.
Again, they've not changed much, but I don't think it's a logo. I don't think they need to change much with those uniforms.
No,
so
they're fine the way they are.
That's why I've been an A. The Bills. Oh, the
I'm gonna
red
say
ones.
B. I like the red ones. The red ones and the blue ones are probably my favorite. They're not like the best, but I think the all red and then the blue one is pretty good.
The thing that I think could put them at A to maybe even S is the smallest edition. But do you remember, was it 2 years ago now, when for some of the scrimmage games, Josh Allen rolled out in the red helmet?
Oh, I forgot about that.
That, if they introduced a red helmet, because that's the thing that reminds me of like 2000s Buffalo Bills.
That's
and I actually liked those uniforms. I think the lighter blue and red looks good, and the amount of white they use is good. But I would like if they rolled out that red one and put it with the red uniforms, or throw it in with like a red and then all blue or something, whatever. I think that would make it a lot better. I still have this at like a B to an A because I do like, again, it's not flashy, but it's just a good look.
Yeah.
So I have that B to A. I'm willing to go with either of those depending on what you feel.
I think B. They're good. They're not great. Mostly just the red one is what has it high as it is right now for me. Blue maybe, but
I don't mind the blue white look. It's a good look. It's not like, again, it's nothing too fancy. But yeah, I'll stick with B. B for Buffalo Bills.
Let's see here.
Panthers.
I am gonna say
it looked good maybe a decade ago. I think they're just outdated.
They looked good when they were like really good as
I don't even know how you fix them, but right now they're just
they're more of a D tier in my opinion.
I'll go D. I was gonna say maybe C, but I'll put them in D.
They're not.
The Bears, I actually kind of like the Bears uniforms. Not like a lot, but like
I've liked
the
them.
Same realm as like the Bills.
They're not great, but they definitely have their good ones. The orange ones are really cool.
I actually don't like the orange ones.
You don't
but
like
I like the throwback one, the plain blue with the three stripes, the like spread stripes.
That's what I was gonna say. That was my second.
Or the what is it, like the Wolverine stripes, like the Michigan helmet. I like those uniforms.
I think the Wolverine stripes are like my second favorite. I'm a big fan of the orange ones.
It's too much orange with not enough blue, in my opinion. Orange, I like. Orange can work well as an accent, but I don't like it alone.
Okay.
So that one is not as much my favorite, but I do like just the blue and white. I think it is a decent look. I would push for it to be up in the same realm as the Bills, though, in like a B.
Yeah, I agree with that. They're definitely the same category, I believe.
Nice. The Bengals.
Those whiteout uniforms are so cool.
The white. Honestly, though, I wish that white on one, they have the slightest bit of orange, and I wish they'd take out the slightest bit of orange and just make it white and black.
I think if they just do white and black, it'd be really cool. But like I said, I'm still a sucker for the all white.
It's yeah, that one is it worthy of an S tier? That is the only debate. Because
I don't think it's an S tier. It's definitely an A tier.
It's at least an A tier. I don't know, that white one really pulls it up, but then I look at the orange and black and I'm like, I don't know.
I've been a big fan of their uniforms.
S or A?
I'm going to say A.
All right.
We'll figure out who's S tier.
Yeah, we can move.
Let's see.
Browns? Listen,
I've never
the color choice isn't great. but again, I may just be an old head, but I kind of like just the classics.
The classics are fine. I just don't think they're great. They're
Yeah.
definitely a C or D tier.
I think that's about as good as you can get with that. I don't think there's much else you can do with those uniforms to make them look better with the logo and colors you have.
Yeah.
If they were to rebrand,
Rebranding is a
Yeah.
whole different thing. But
I'll argue for the upper side. I'll argue C if you're stuck on C and D. Cowboys, I do like their alternates with the white helmet.
they're I don't know. There's something about the uniforms that just don't sit well with me. It might just be the too much white on the blue. That might just be me.
It could be. There's one thing that has never sat with. There's two sides of this. There's the fact that the Cowboys have a tradition that I respect, and you see it sometimes. You see it more in college sports or like college football. They're the only team in the NFL, as far as I know. The Dolphins have done it a little bit more now. That will wear white at home, and I respect that because it is a tradition thing. The one thing that throws me off, though, and you can see it here. I don't know if you can see it on yours. Their pants with their white jersey, whatever, is not gray. It is whatever that is, like bluish.
Yeah, I've never been a fan of that color.
It bugs me, and I get it's like
go silver.
It's a tradition thing, but like also, it
It doesn't look good. I'm gonna say C for that one. I'm not moving it up.
Okay.
I'm not a fan of the home jerseys, or at least the pants.
Now we get to our first new one. The Denver Broncos. Yes, they do kind of look like the Chargers,
They kind of do.
but the
They're not
throwback is
terrible.
great. I think they added a white helmet, which I think
The white
They-
helmet is pretty decent.
they showed it on top of the all blues, which I just don't think is the right way to show that. I think you put it on an all white or like white, orange, white,
Orange.
blue. Like throw it on some. It shouldn't be the only white thing there.
I think with the Broncos, I don't like the new ones as much as the old ones. I think the recent ones, like the late 2010s, those ones are pretty decent. The ones where Peyton Manning was around and everything, those were always pretty good. Right now, I kind of want to average that out into like a B or C range, because I always thought their uniforms are pretty cool. I'm not a big fan of the redesign recently, but
Well, we're going specifically off of like the new uniform.
That's what
Like
I'm
we're
saying.
going with what it is
like
now.
the new uniforms are not as
I actually don't think these are as a lot of people dislike it, but I think it might be more of a nostalgia, like we would just want the old thing. I think these actually might grow on Denver fans as time goes. I'm not saying they're like A or S tier,
no,
but I would
but
say
they're
like
definitely-
B or C. I think they're pretty solid.
I'm gonna argue for B because they're pretty decent.
Yeah, especially with the throwback. And again, if they mix it up well, I think it's a solid set. Lions.
This is one of the ones where I could argue for S, but I think it's an A tier for certain.
Yeah, this
because
is an A or an
I
S.
love the silver uniforms. The silver uniforms are really cool.
The silver
love 'em.
uniforms.
I love the silver uniforms.
Did they? This is based off of the new ones. I don't know if did they have new silver uniforms.
I
thought they did away with those.
I thought they kept them. Maybe I'm going crazy, but
I don't know.
I'm thinking recency. Silver ones are always really good. Also, the Lions have always been good at like keeping it up to date with like style and I guess the times. Like they kind of changed the style of their brand over time, which is good because you don't want to stay the same forever.
The one thing I'll put out, I wasn't actually a fan of the recent set of uniforms. I was a fan of the one before, and I'm really a fan of the ones now because they more accented the white and blue on the silver.
Yeah.
I really like the blue pops a lot. I forget what they called the uniforms, but the black with the powder blue or whatever.
Oh,
element.
those ones? Yeah, those are pretty decent. I like those.
I really like the new ones. I think those are gonna look great on TV. I'm like AA or S tier Um,
I'm gonna
again,
say let's put it A for now, because I feel like we're gonna figure out which one's next tier later on.
they're pretty classic. Packers.
Those are pretty generic. I hate the really bland ones, the weird ones. What are they called? Like they don't even. Am I thinking Packers? They have blue uniforms, right?
Oh, like the super throwbacks where it's like the blue and
Yeah, I
tan
hate those.
and the brown helmet. Well, because those pay homage to like first gen.
Yeah. Also, the all green with the yellow font and helmet and everything, that looks nasty.
I don't mind that one. It could use a little more yellow.
See, the thing
or
is that
white.
the Packers, they make me love and hate their uniforms because my favorite color is green, but my least favorite color is yellow. So it's like, I hate this. I hate the all green with yellow on top. It doesn't look great. I do like the ones where they normally wear where it's like green shirt, yellow pants, yellow stripes, green helmet. Those ones are cool. I don't like the all green ones.
I don't mind the all green ones. It's kind of like a more trying to take a more modern look because obviously they're very classic uniforms.
Yes,
They
I
have
know they're classic.
very
I just can't do
minimum
them.
change. I can't put it. I definitely can't put it below a C just because of how classic it is and how I do like their uniforms. That is one where I don't think they should change. I think they've had the recipe. I mean, like maybe you mess with alternates and stuff, but like their plain home and away, I think is done. I think as well as it should be done, and I don't think there's much change to really be made there. I would argue maybe even B because I think it could fit in that realm of like Bills and Bears.
C is the highest I'm going with these. I'm just not a fan of the Packer uniforms. I've just never been, especially the throwbacks.
I'll throw in C just because we have the Cowboys there. I don't like putting them in with the Cardinals and Browns though. Texans new uniforms. I'm like back and forth. I like
the red ones.
I think the red ones are a little too much. I do like what's the H-Town.
The H-Town
uniform.
ones are pretty cool.
That one's one I need to see on the field because there's like the logo's kind of weird, but I think it could look cool.
It was a little funky, but
The changes they made to their home and away, I think, are solid. It's just the one stripe that curves up kind of throws me off.
no.
But
I never understood those. But I think at least a B tier for Texas.
I was gonna say B or C.
You want it to be as low as the Cowboys and Packers because of reasons, or
I can throw it in B because again, it could look. It's one I haven't seen on the field yet, so I'm subject to move it around. Oh, the Colts.
they've never really changed.
It's very hit or miss. They're very. I mean, for reasons like, I feel like it's on the same realm as the Packers and Cowboys. Just because it's like it's not been changed a lot. It's pretty vintage. They've made some changes to it.
Yeah.
I just don't want to even acknowledge the black helmet one.
No, I don't want to acknowledge that.
But they have like you look at their home and away. It's classic, but it's also I think that's one of the cases of classic just being boring.
Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe that's just me, but I'm fine with it being put in C.
Yeah.
So
I can't make. I mean, it doesn't look bad, but it's just like
it's meh. It's plain.
It's the same. I'll honestly argue it's the same as the Cardinals, or it's just
it's just too.
Yeah. Which is what you get when you only have one of your two colors is white.
Yes.
Jaguars.
Okay, depends on the uniform you're going to talk about, because there's certain ones I like and there's certain ones I don't.
Now, here's the thing. This one does include the throwbacks, like the 2000s
Yes, I
throwbacks,
love the
which I
throwbacks.
love, but they don't actually wear those.
They were once in a while.
I don't recall. I haven't seen them wear them. I love those. If I'm looking at like their modern uniforms, I really want them to change them because yes, the gradient helmet with using the gold wasn't a great look, but I think they went too far in the other direction to where this is just kind of boring. You don't have an outline like for your numbers. It's just here. These are our colors, and we're gonna throw white or black. Actually, no, it's just white. We're just gonna throw white numbers on it in a basic font and a black helmet. And I'm like, there's nothing there. It's not even like a classic vintage look. It's not a 2000s look. It's not super. It just doesn't have anything. This is the realm of boring to me.
I've been a fan of the uniform designs for the Jaguars. I'm okay settling with like a B or C with this one. I've been a fan of that shade of blue.
I like the colors.
Also like the all black ones.
I like the colors. It's just the uniform design to me is bland because there's not a lot there. There's not
plain.
A bunch of it's just kind of plain. They don't have a lot of accent to the uniforms. It's pretty much just a plain colored jersey with basic numbers and text. Which again, the reason why I don't have it as low as like D or F, it's not bad. And the colors are good. It's just kind of boring to me. So I'm going to put it down in C.
I'm cool with that, I guess.
Chiefs, as much as I hate seeing them all the time now, it's another classic one.
They're boring though. That's just like I said, my opinion.
I mean, it's the same. I think that's the same realm as the Packers, Cowboys, and Colts.
Yeah.
I like B or C. I wouldn't say like A tier, but
No. I'm kind of putting them in the same range as the Packers and Cowboys. So while we're there, could we also put the Steelers there? Because like they're not cool. Like I don't understand why a lot of people like the Steelers jerseys. Maybe it's just because of nostalgia and everything, like a lot of things are, but they're good. They're just not that good. I don't see the appeal for them, I guess.
is it possible that your bias towards anti-yellow is a factor?
No, actually, if we go down later, there's actually a couple teams that rank higher than the Packers and Steelers.
Interesting.
There's a couple teams who have yellow.
I don't know. I mean, this is me like coming as like a Ravens fan. I think I value them as like a B, and I hate seeing it, especially in public. Oh God. But it is just like. But I also value like the other classic ones probably at about a B. I think the Colts out of the ones deemed classics are the only ones that I think the Colts are the only ones that I would actually put in C. But I think for the realm of fairness, we could put the Steelers there just because it is probably on that same realm where it's like it's classic. I'd say it's classic. I don't think they're super boring. I think the colors.
I never said they were super boring. I just don't think they're that appealing. They're not too appealing.
I would lean towards B or A, but if you're thinking lower, I could compromise to a C.
We can do C.
Raiders. I don't even know. This is another case of just like
they don't change much.
They don't. It isn't a bad look, but it's like one where I'm like I watch it for like a whole game and I'm like I'm already sick of these uniforms.
I feel like it's the same category as the Panthers ones, where they were cool for a long time, but they've gotten so old that they don't look as good anymore.
Yeah, I think there's just, especially like you move to a new city with a fancy new arena or stadium, and I'm just like,
you don't even update the.
Which is it's tough because it's a Raiders team. I can put them down in D. But it's like you took a classic franchise and you tried to put them in like a super new place.
Exactly. Like I don't.
And so they're just like I feel like there's conflict. It's like, oh, do we stick with the old or do we embrace the new? And the issue is also if you embrace the new, how do you do that with a team that's black and silver? Do you like rebrand your logo? What does that involve?
We'll see. I mean, for me, it's more of a. They're just too plain. They haven't changed much over the years, so.
Chargers.
So these are the ones I would put up in like B or A, because I like the Chargers uniforms. The only ones I'm not a fan of are the really dark blue ones. Or actually,
my bigger issue, I don't mind like the navy. It's like the royal blue for me.
that's what I was trying to figure out. It's the royal blue. I'm not a big fan of the royal blue. I like the dark blue. The royal blue is the one I have an issue with. It just is, the colors don't match very well. The very bright blue, white, and yellow, that I do like. Those colors go together very well.
Yeah, I like the pattern. Having 3 different shades of blue is just weird.
Yeah,
The
that's
navy.
what I'm saying. Like you need to stick with one or the other.
Navy's like a classic. It's like a homage to 2000s Chargers, which I loved that look. I like the powder blue, or what do they call it? Electric blue.
Something like that.
With the yellow. It's a good look. I kind of wish they did something with the helmets, because I think the helmets sometimes I feel can hold them back a little bit. But other than that, I mean, they're good logos or good uniforms. I think that's the modernization done pretty well. I could put them at
I like
B. It's
B.
I think it's that third set that kind of throws me off a little bit, but
Yeah.
I could throw them in B. Rams. Listen,
Hit or miss. They're usually hit or miss.
it's very miss for me. I'm like D or F. I don't like the font for the numbers.
I'm cool with a D.
They have the gradient with the numbers. Also don't like really with the. I think that's a worst case scenario.
I do agree with the
modernization.
font. The font doesn't look very appealing. The better ones of the Rams right now are those silver ones. I like the silver ones for some reason, but the other ones are not as.
I actually did, because it's not really silver. It's
Yeah,
just
that's what I'm
off
saying. It's-
white.
Yeah, it's
and
not
it's
white.
to me it's gross. It looks disgusting, because it looks like literally their clothes. It just looks like their clothes are dirty, like they weren't washed before they played. And I'm like, that is, everyone else has white, and you're out there, and yours is just like off white, and it's like, did you not do your laundry? Ooh. I could do D.
I'm cool with D.
They would be a team that I would nominate for F though. Dolphins, on the other hand,
There's one I would nominate for F. Dolphins.
they're another team I respect, because they will wear white at home. Theirs is actually for good reason. Theirs is not for, tradition. Theirs is, playing at home. It gets really hot down here. We're going to wear white uniforms so we don't overheat as much. And I'm like, that's
Smart.
crazy. That's smart. But I do like their current ones. I love when they wear their throwbacks, though.
I think I'm going to say something controversial. The old logo for the Dolphins is worse than the modern one.
I like the classic ones a little bit more. But that's probably a little bit of nostalgia, I guess. It's just the brighter teal to me is just a little too bright, and I do like the older ones better, but I do still think overall their uniforms are very well done, and I could see B to A on the Dolphins.
I'm cool with a B. I don't think they're that good though.
Vikings?
Vikings.
I like the classic ones they've been.
The classic ones are really good. I'm just trying to think of like the new ones.
The modern ones.
The modern ones.
I could put them at a B, as just a conglomerate.
Yeah, I think they're not quite an A, but they're definitely a B. I think combining all of the ones they do have, I just don't think they're that good. I'm not a fan of. Here we go again. I'm not a fan of the yellow text, like the font.
Oh, with the all purple. With the
I'm not a fan of that one.
Again, I like, because I value accent, and the yellow accent's the purple, but what are you having making the numbers pop out? And there's nothing, because there's no
no
they need
outline.
an outline, and so funny, because we're just an NFL podcast just talking fashion basically.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think the numbers are. I'm not the biggest fan. It's good, but it's not elite. So I could say B. Was it
B. B.
I could say, yeah, same realm as the Dolphins. I agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
Patriots.
Okay.
I have to.
This is one of the ones where it has to be an A, because the as much as I hated the Patriots dynasty and everything, their uniforms were sick, especially those older ones.
I agree. I like the throwbacks. I am tempted to knock down some points because after Tom Brady left, they changed the uniform a little bit.
This is true.
And they took away they basically almost completely took away the silver pants, and then they changed. I think it was originally the stripes went like this, and then they turned it into that. And I don't like those small changes that they made, and so that pushes them a little bit closer to a B. If we're talking 2010s Patriots, absolutely A.
Yeah,
but
the uniforms were really good.
The blue. I don't like the use of the blue pants.
I do agree with that. I think it looks better with silver. But
The silver is just, it was a good look, and they were like, oh, you need to change it for new era. And it's like, no, you made it worse. Just wear more. I don't know. So I could go up to an A, but I feel like with some of the changes they made since Tom Brady's departure, we do a little bit closer to B.
I wanted it to be an A, but it's not going to move up any higher from an A. It's just I don't think it deserves anything lower than an A.
I don't know. Because I'm looking at it as it is now, and without the silver, without the silver pants, I find it hard. And again, the stripe change, it's just weird to me.
You want to move it down to a B?
I would prefer to put it at a B.
Okay, we can put it at a B.
Again, if it was like 10 years ago, absolutely A.
Okay.
Saints.
Basic. They're kind of in the same realm as the.
I have them in the same realm as like the Raiders.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Raiders.
Okay.
Raiders and Saints. They haven't done much to change anything, and I don't know. Saints uniforms are kind of boring.
Yeah, it's just
cool.
I mean, it looked good when Drew Brees was there, but now it's like
it doesn't look very appealing.
They don't have it. It's their main home is gold, black, which is just. I don't know. I'm not as big a fan, and I kind of hope that they make some changes. I could put them in D though.
I put them in D. Who's next?
Giants.
The Giants. Giants. They don't have a great uniform.
They have. Ooh.
Are you speaking from nostalgia for this one too, or are you?
No, I'm mixed. I'm very mixed. They rolled out their new uniforms, which is like the super throwback, like. Which I feel like you won't like because that's probably closer to like what the Packers super throwback looks like. It's like the cream or whatever tan pants, and then it's the red, white, blue, white, red sort of striped pattern. But they do have like the Wolverine type helmet.
Striped patterns like on the chest or around like the waist area. When it comes to jerseys and everything, they look terrible. Same thing with the Steelers. It's the same concept. I hate the stripes.
It's a super throwback. It's like those like 75th anniversary kind of things, but
75th anniversary doesn't look great.
No, I'm not a big fan of it. Their current ones, I also have a problem slightly that they've made, kind of like the Patriots. That they apparently made recently that I didn't notice is they stopped wearing, or predominantly stopped wearing gray pants and started wearing white pants. And I'm not a fan of the white pants. I prefer the silver pants.
Silver pants look better.
The one thing I will caveat, I like the throwbacks to like the 90s, the ones that says Giants on the helmet. I like the darker blue, but if you look at these with the NY, C.
I'm okay with C.
Oh, I almost feel like it should be down to D.
What?
What were you thinking for Giants? Because I could move them down to D.
I originally wanted them at D, but
I can move them down to D. It's just because looking at their plain ones, especially taking away the gray pants, it's disappointing. Jets.
Okay, they're not as bad as people make them out to be. They're not great, but they're not boring.
Well, they did do their they did change theirs.
Mm-hmm.
So they do have they're going what is it? The legacy
Colors or whatever.
the
it is.
legacy uniforms.
I would put them at C.
I don't mind them. Again, it's another case of you picked green and white. Like you have black uniforms.
Yeah.
They're all right. But it's just like you picked green and white. You're not going to be much more impressive than the Colts.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like if we're going based off like the Colts and everything, then it should be in the same category.
Yeah,
But the Jets uniforms are better than the Colts. I will say that design wise,
they're more interesting.
They're more interesting. They're better to look at.
Yeah, the font I think is better.
Yes.
They have a little bit more to the helmet design, even though. Nah. Eagles.
Eagles are one of those where it's like depending on which one it is, it puts them at a B.
I would say B-A with the Kelly Greens. The Kelly Green, I love the all black. They do have a black helmet. They don't wear it super often.
No.
And then there's just the classic one, or not classic, but it's their regular home and away, which I also don't hate.
No.
I think I like the colors. I mean, the design isn't a lot, but this is one of the cases where the colors kind of speak for it. And I think
the colors do speak a lot.
And they have, again, one of the more unique helmets in the NFL, and I like it.
I'm cool with an
A. 49ers, this one I feel like you're going to be lower on, but it's another, especially I don't even know what you call it. Is it is it a classic look? The black outline or the black shadowed numbers. They usually wear it as the gold, red, and white.
Yeah.
Or
this one is one of those uniforms of the classic ones that look the best.
I love the accenting with the shadow.
This is the one I think I would bump up to a B if we were just talking about classics.
Yeah. Plus, I don't mind the gold, red, and gold.
No, the gold, red, and gold is good. I'm just saying that out of the ones that we were talking about, those are the ones that are pretty up high.
I could put them at a B. I would put them B or A because I like them. Seahawks. Oh god,
they did too much of the neon.
The neon green is so much.
Too much.
No, I did forget for a hot second. The throwbacks that they introduced this last year looked fantastic.
That's true.
There were a lot of
there were good
throwbacks. That was one of them that I really liked.
Do you think it would be worthy of a B spot, or do you think it would be thrown down to C?
At least B. And this is me keeping in mind that neon green. I think the dark blue, the regular home and away, I think is really solid.
Every time I think of Seahawks, I think Lynch and Richard Sherman. I think a B or an A is pretty appropriate for these uniforms.
Yeah. Buccaneers. I'll listen. If we were talking Jameis Winston era,
no,
that was
I
gross.
hated those uniforms.
You bring out, but they switched back to the pewter look. Mm-hmm. I love the pewter look. This is 2000s. It was a good era. This homage to their Super Bowl era, their first Super Bowl era. I think it was a good look. I love the red and pewter. The all pewter is kind of weird, but I don't hate it. And you roll out the creamsicles.
Yeah.
Love the creamsicles. I can't go lower than B on that.
I'm cool with a B.
I have nothing I can hate about that, and a lot that I can.
It's just whenever
love.
I think Buccaneers, I try to think of like the 2000s ones and the recent ones. I don't try to think of like the Jameis Winston era. Now these last two, I make a very, very strong case for. Commanders, F.
Yeah, I learned some
good.
uniform things. I learned some things about the rules for uniforms, and I believe they're in the works. I'm hoping and praying that the new management is in the works of changing everything, the branding, the uniforms. But apparently there is rules.
Yeah, there are. I think there's a couple, isn't there? When it comes to like,
You have to like wait every couple. You have to have a uniform for a certain amount of years, or you have to. You can go every
Oh.
couple of years before you have the ability to request a new uniform. And if you look at teams like the Packers, they've not really changed it at all. It stacks. So the Packers could change uniforms probably like 5 times, or for it to get accepted, they have to wait a certain amount of years. So they have to wait, and on top of that, I don't know what I think there's a certain amount of time. They also need to let the league know like 2 years in advance. I think it is before they can make changes. So the Commanders we've had 1 year. We're probably gonna have to wait another year before they can roll anything out.
yeah,
So
These-
this sucks.
these are
F.
trash.
I don't. This is the uniform. I mean, it's not.
It's not the team.
It could be so much worse.
It really
but-
could be. It really
But
could
like
be.
on the scale of how we have things, it's not great. And I think more than anything, the branding needs to change.
Oh, the branding for sure needs to change. This is one of the ones where it's just we need to give it time.
They just need time to fix.
And
Snyder.
then finally, the Titans.
I liked when they changed. How was it? Was it like 2016 or so? Like 8 years ago when they changed off of like the white helmet and into the blue helmet, but now they wear so much of the navy. Like their regular home and away, Their throwback is another one of those that was a banger,
Yeah,
done super well.
I do agree with that. I'm not too up on the silver shoulder pads.
Oh yeah, with like the sword design.
I think
like,
that's a little too much, but
I get what they were going for, but it's just it's not even like futuristic, but it's like a certain design that just I don't think belongs.
they
in
tried
sports.
too much with it when they tried to redesign it, especially with the silver pads.
It's just how much does the Oilers one bring it up? Because I'm like C to D, and purely because of
I'm cool with
the
it.
Oiler.
I don't think they're that great.
All right, now do we want to move anything? Because we don't have any in S tier, and I
That's what I
think
was gonna say. One needs to go up in S tier.
I'll say my piece.
Okay.
I don't think the Ravens or the Eagles should be the one to move up.
No.
I think A is a good spot for them. I think it would be between the Bengals and the Lions, and the reason I want to say the Bengals, even though again it might not be my favorite rendition. Like I think there could be improvements. The Bengals we've seen and we know look good.
Yes.
The Lions we've seen in a booth, and I think because we haven't seen it actually on the field, it wouldn't be fair to put it in S tier. So I would argue
think
for
that's
the
fair.
Bengals to go
Bengals,
into
I
S because
think-
we know what that looks like. We know that those actually look good on the field.
I agree.
I don't doubt that the Lions will look good on the field, but we haven't seen them, so I think it's unfair to just throw them up there because it's like,
A lot of the ones in B they're good, but they're not great. C is just a bunch of like it's either classics or just ones they didn't try hard enough on. D is just you're lucky that you're not an F tier right now.
and there's
and
the
then there's
Command.
Commanders.
I w-
So
I'll make one
move.
thing that I would like to move if possible. It seemed okay at the start, but now that we've gone through everything, and that's the Cardinals. I think it kind of just fits with what's in D.
Yes, I do agree with that.
Because it's not horrible, but
It's not great.
by the standard of D is not horrible, but it's just not good.
No.
And so that's kind of just what that's turned into. C is basically
Throwbacks.
it's
or not
90
throwbacks,
it's
or-
90% classics that just
when people think football, they think of these.
yeah, except for one team.
Except for one team. But
It's the Jaguars. But again, they have a good color and they kind of just fall between that B and D based off good colors, boring design.
yeah, I was gonna say boring design.
This is final look.
Voila.
Man, some teams could really use a redesign though.
Please and thank you. I'm specifically talking about Commanders. And a
Commanders,
few
but
of
they
the
need
other teams in
time.
D.
Cardinals would probably take some time. Titans might. Rams, I don't think they will. Panthers should. Falcons should. One that I think, the two teams that I think would be the most, who should and probably could be most likely to next, Indy, would be the Saints and the Giants.
I can see that.
And I think they could benefit from it the most. Maybe they won't. We'll see.
The one time we'll be talking about fashion.
I like to dock uniforms. I like good appeal. I like good
Mhm.
apparel. It helps.
You gotta have some swag on you.
It helps me actually watch these teams. Like I don't. There's a reason why I don't like watching the Commanders. It's not pretty.
No.
That's it. We might do a redesign tier list at some point. Maybe
Maybe.
we're gonna see a lot of. We will probably do some more tier lists for the off season because there's just not a lot right now.
Yeah.
It might be the stuff going forward, and it's good. It's good filler for until we wait for stuff to come around. We do got some pretty cool stuff in the works. Thank you for joining us for this tier list on the current NFL uniforms. We should appreciate all of everyone who follows, and we will see you guys in the next video.
See you.
Really long and bad. This is like Commanders level outro. Anyway,
You're making yourself look like a fool right now.
I pity the fool.